Welcome back to the second episode of the 4th and 5 podcast. Today, we got a bunch of quarterback rankings, quarterback would you rathers. It's all about quarterbacks today. So hopefully we'll have a lot of good debates coming up here. We don't really know. But how we're going to do this, we all have our top 15 quarterbacks prepared, and we're going to group it. We're all going to read off our 11 through 15, then our 6 through 10, then our 1 through 5. We're going to go in reverse order. So we'll just go around, and I'm sure it'll lead to some differences of opinion. But Max is going to read his 15 to 11 first. So go ahead.
Yeah. So 15 was easily the toughest spot I had, but I went with Mac Jones over all the other guys I had in that little wasteland. 14, I have Ryan Tannehill. 13, I have Kirk Cousins. 12, I have Derek Carr. And 11, I have Kyler Murray. All right, who's next? Go ahead, Elijah. Let me hear yours.
All right. At 15, I have Jalen Hurts. 14, I got Jameis Winston. 13, Kirk Cousins. 12, Derek Carr. 11, Kyler Murray.
Famous Jameis. Yeah, I mean, I'm very similar with Max. I got Jalen Hurts at 15, and then the same 14 through 11, Tannehill, Kirk, Carr, and then Kyler.
I got 15 Mac Jones. I got 14 Matty Ice. Nobody has Matty Ice up there. A little disrespectful.
I got him at 16.
I got him at 16 as well. Honorable mention.
And then I have 13 Kirk, 12 Carr, 11 Dak.
Oh, that's tough.
I think I don't know. I was surprised with Tannehill because I have Tannehill behind 16. I have Winston. 17. I have Hurts. 18. I have Tannehill. So I have him kind of low.
I think
Tannehill's not top 20.
I don't know, dude. I just think he wasn't great last year, but I think the last thing that he left people with was that playoff game where he was atrocious. He was really bad, and that's what people think about. If you think about him throughout the entire year, he wasn't that bad. 2 years ago, he was really good, and that team, no Derrick Henry for the second half of the season. AJ Brown was in and out of the lineup. They had no offense, and they got the number 1 seed. So Granted, their defense played really well towards the end of the season. I think it was the best defense the second half of the season, but he pulled his weight when he needed to. He just choked in the playoff game.
Yeah, I just think he's the definition of a middle-of-the-pack quarterback. He's not going to do much to win you a game, but he's not going to do much to lose you a game. So I just thought middle-of-the-pack, 14. He's been to the playoffs, 2 or 3 straight years?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my reasoning behind it.
Yeah,
I think him, Matt Ryan, Hurts, Winston are that middle of the pack. I could see any of those guys being ranked ahead of Tannehill. I think those guys are all really close.
Yeah. I mean, they are in the same tier. I mean, we all had Kirk at 13, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of one of my takes that nobody really gets behind. I think Kirk gets grouped into the same tier as Carr, Dak, Kyler. I think Kirk is closer to that next tier with Matt Ryan and Mac Jones. I think Kirk is close. And the only thing people have is he's always top 10 in stats, but he is, in my opinion, he is mid, and Carr and Dak and Kyler, they're not mid. They're better.
No.
So that's why I think Kirk is in that tier. I would put him at the top just because I guess those stats do come up, and he's got better stats than all of them. But I mean, if somebody tried to tell me I would take Matt Ryan over Kirk Cousins, I'm not in agreement, but I'm not gonna give you a huge argument because I think they're in the same tier.
I do too. I think that Carr tier is you. I physically can't put Kirk up there, and then looking at the guys below him, I have Tannehill, Mac Jones, Matt Ryan, those guys. I can't group him there either. Like, I feel like he's the perfect middle point between those two tiers.
Yeah.
I think it's like common agreement that he's there. I put something on my Twitter that was like, do you think Derek Carr is a significant upgrade over Kirk Cousins? And everybody's like, significant, no, but upgrade, yeah. Like, I think everybody's kind of on that same page.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw that tweet too, and I couldn't really decide, but I would also say upgrade. But I think about everyone that was saying like, yeah, Carr over Kirk is an upgrade, but it's not that big of an upgrade. I think it's bigger than people think. I still don't know if I would say significant, but that's a way better quarterback in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. You want to go 10-6?
Yeah.
But before we go that, I want Gotti to talk about Jameis.
Yeah. I need a rationale too.
I just think that the way Jameis played before he got hurt, I think the Saints were 5-2. And like his first game with the Saints was against Green Bay. And I think he threw for like 5 touchdowns. I just think like he has the potential to push it over. It just depends on what he does with it.
I could see it. I think it's a good call going into the season too, because his receivers significantly upgraded going into this season compared to last season. So like there will be guys for him to throw to for sure.
Is Michael Thomas playing? Like, is he going to be playing week 1? All right.
It seems like it.
I'm very interested to see how that goes. If he like returns to top 5, or if he's just like a kind of a top 15 guy, or what.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
Because didn't Andy Dalton sign with the Saints too?
Mm-hmm.
Did he? I didn't even know that.
He's the backup, yeah.
Jeez. Well, I guess he's been an NFL starter for a long time.
And he Dalton.
But I mean, like, you look at that team last year, like they almost made the playoffs with like a rotation of Trevor Siemian? Yeah, Trevor Siemian and what's his face? Taysom Hill playing quarterback. So like
Ian
they even had to start my boy Ian Book for one
dude,
day.
that game was brutal. I remember watching that game. It was against Miami, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
First series,
so
pick
bad.
6, first pass.
So bad, dude. So bad.
That's what makes it tough for me with the Saints, like because Jameis is a question mark. Sean Payton leaving, like you never know how that's gonna go. And another question mark is Kamara being suspended or not. Like they have so many question marks to where like, I mean, I guess high ceiling, low floor. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to predict.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we can move 10-6. So 10, I have Dak. 9 through 6 are extremely difficult for me. I'm confident at Dak at 10. 9, I have Lamar. 8, I have Stafford. 7, I have Burrow. 6, I have Russell Wilson.
10, I have Burrow. 9, I have Dak. 8, I have Stafford. 7, I have Russ. 6, I have Lamar.
Yeah, I got Dak at 10, Russ at 9, Lamar at 8, Herbert at 7, and then Josh Allen at 6.
Oh, look at his face.
Damn,
All right.
6? Why?
I don't like I said, like I texted you guys, 3 through 7 like are just so interchangeable in my opinion. And like Josh Allen hasn't really won anything out of the tier I have them, so there he is down there at the lowest part of it. So it's not a talent issue at all, Gotti.
Okay, so I mean, I'm just gonna spoil it. So that means you have Herbert above him.
No, I have Josh Allen above Herbert at 6.
Where'd you have Herbert?
And-
7?
At 7.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess we'll see. I'm already forgetting. We'll see who you have. Okay. Well, 10, I have Lamar. 9, I have Kyler. 8, I have Burrow. 7, I have Stafford. 6, I have Wilson. I think. Did no one else have Kyler over Lamar?
No, I have Lamar over Kyler.
I think the only thing Lamar does better than Kyler is rushing. not that. I mean, because Lamar is obviously the best rusher in the league as a quarterback for sure, but Kyler's right there behind him. And Kyler, and I'm not going to be that guy that says Lamar can't pass because he's improving every year with that, and he is a fine passer. But I think Kyler is at the top as a passer. I mean, he has one of the best deep balls in the league. He's very accurate. I just think he does more. He has to deal with Cliff freaking Kingsbury as his coach. I mean, I think Kyler overall is just a better football player than Lamar.
My thing with
So-
that. Go
So
ahead,
like
Wasi.
if you have the first pick, you're picking Kyler Murray over Lamar.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of tough to me because I think it's hard to have like a criteria when you're making quarterback rankings because like if you ask me like I have Herbert over Brady, but like if you ask me like who would you rather have on your team if you want to go to the Super Bowl, like am I gonna take Herbert? Probably not. But like he's a better quarterback. So I guess it just depends on your criteria for rankings. But I do think Kyler versus Lamar is close, and I could be swayed towards Lamar. But it's just hard for me to like compare characteristics, stats, situations, stuff like that. Situation besides Kyler having better receivers, people forget Lamar has one of the best tight ends in the league. I think Kyler just does so much better. It's hard for me to just put Lamar above him because I'm big on not counting winning as a quarterback stat because Lamar has had a way better defense, a way better coach, a way better run game than Kyler's had. So I think what people always argue is, well, Lamar wins way more than Kyler. Well, Lamar also has more than Kyler besides receiving core. So I just think Kyler does more things better.
I think two things I have with that. I think it's super close too. But the first thing I look at is Cliff Kingsbury gets a negative connotation because he choked second half of the year. His offense, I think, is one of the best in the NFL. It's always why they're in the top 10, top 5. Like that air raid certified offense is going to get Kyler Murray over 300 passing yards a game. It makes him look good, I think. He's obviously a good passer, like he's a good quarterback, but his offensive system sets him up for success. And when you have guys like DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, last year, it opens things up for them. And what kind of pushes me away from Kyler is his failure to perform in this, like not second half of the season, but when things don't go his way. Like the second half of last season, he was not good. He didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. He was not very good. It was very much a reality check for him. And like being in a decent offense with decent skill position players around him without DeAndre Hopkins, like he really couldn't do anything. They just barely made the playoffs by the skin of their teeth. And the reality with Lamar Jackson, especially last year, I know Mark Andrews burst onto the team last year. He's really good. Is that's what he's had to deal with, like the majority of his career, I think. And he won an MVP. So I think he will always have that over Kyler. I think if first half Kyler Murray was a complete season quarterback, he would also have an MVP. But like I've yet to see that. I can't get behind it.
Yeah. I mean, 2 years ago, both the last 2 years, he sort of collapsed kind of in the second half of the season. 2 years ago, I think it was a shoulder injury, whatever injury it was. Yeah. The injury had to have had something to do with it. And then last year, I know we all know that Cliff Kingsbury spits stat, and I don't want to blame it on Cliff and say it's not Kyler's fault or anything like that, because that is 2 in a row of collapsing. Lamar had a down year last year too. But I mean, I think there was the whole entire Cardinals team, like the defense, the injuries on offense, Cliff Kingsbury, because I just remember watching the Colts practice squad kick their ass, and I'm just thinking this is not the same Cardinals team. This is not the same Cliff, not the same Kyler, not the same anyone on that team. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a close one, but I think the only arguments, like at least in the comments and stuff like that, is well, Lamar is just a winner. Well, Lamar has an MVP. Well, that was 2 years ago. Kyler was a top 3 MVP candidate for the whole first half of last season. And he was an MVP candidate for a while the season before, which nobody wants to talk about. And I know that's not winning the MVP, but Lamar wasn't really in the conversation there. I'm not saying Lamar's worse. I'm not saying he's had this huge drop off. He got hurt last year too. But I don't think it's tough because I do see him. I see him climbing this list. If he can stay healthy, he's got a better situation this year. But I think people just give him like, oh, you know what? He was an MVP. I don't really care how he played last year, and I know he's just gotten slightly regressed every year. I mean, I don't know.
I think like the thing with Kyler is like when he comes out the first 8 weeks of the season, like teams don't have him figured out. And then like once they like the back end of the season, teams start to figure him out, and then like he starts forcing stuff. He only looks at his first read, like he doesn't go through his progression. I just think like for Kyler, the only way that I can put him over, like, because he's not even in my top 10, but the only way I can put him into a top 10 is when he like proves that he can win in the back end of the season when it matters.
And I don't even know if it's about winning in the back end. It's about just performing. Because, like, regardless of the situation, winning or losing, like, if you don't, like, if there's that big of a discrepancy between your play the first half of the season and the second half of the season, like, as a coach or as an organization, you can't trust that guy. Like, and quarterback, I know everybody will say winning is not a team stat, or winning is not a quarterback stat, it's a team stat, which is true, but I believe it hinges on the quarterback more than anybody else. I think that's a very valid point to be argued, that it's not equally divided among these 22 players. It hinges on the quarterback more than it does anybody else.
Yeah. That's just it's tough for me to look at that because like because everyone there's no real argument against like, oh, like it's not Kyler's fault. Like Kyler has the last 2 seasons gone downhill as the year goes on. 2 years ago, I firmly believe injuries had a big part in that. But like it's still hard to look at Cliff doing that the past like 8-9 years when he was at Texas Tech, the second half downhill spiral. I mean, it's hard for me to be like, oh, like that has that has to have a part in why Kyler has that downfall too. I mean, I'd take John Harbaugh over Cliff Kingsbury to coach me 10 times out of 10. But well, who else did Elijah? Who else did you have behind Lamar in the top 10?
Burrow, Dak, Stafford, and Russ.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know which one to pick there because I don't. I'll go.
I can't get behind Burrow. I can't.
I was gonna say why is he better than Burrow? I don't.
Or Stafford.
Yeah,
I think that Burrow gets more credit. Like I think his receivers don't get as much credit as they should. But like that's not his fault though. But like I feel like Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, they don't get as much credit as Burrow gets credit.
I think that's true. I think that, like, I mean, I rated him pretty highly, but I think that the receivers are it's a big reason he's successful. Like, you have better receivers, generally speaking, unless you're Tom Brady, you're going to be more successful. But like, just looking at the numbers Joe Burrow puts up, I think he was second in the NFL in aggression percentage in passing, and he led the league in completion percentage, right? Pretty sure he did. He was up there regardless. His completion percentage was 6% higher than expected. Like, he's a freak, and everybody will talk about, oh, like, I don't know if the arm talent's there. I think it's an overblown characteristic. There are plenty of quarterbacks in the NFL who have succeeded without this like bazooka arm like Mahomes or Josh Allen has. I just think that like people try to knock Burrow for things that he really can't control or can't do well, but he still performs. Like leading up to the Super Bowl, I wanted the Rams to win so bad. So like I was so like anti-Bengals, anti-Burrow, and anytime I heard the Burrow-Brady comparison, like I lost my mind, but it's kind of true. Like I see it now. It's a guy that like, granted he has really good receivers, who doesn't have these intangibles, who shouldn't be successful. He's not crazy athletic, but he's good. He just gets the job done. I know it's only
guy
1 year.
That guy level people levitate to him. He's just like I want that guy to be at the front of my line. Like I want him to lead my team.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the man.
It's hard for me to look at a 18 to 13 touchdown interception ratio and compare it to 34 to 14 touchdown interception ratio Burrow last year. Now I know Lamar only played 12 games, but that's a huge difference. Like Burrow blew Lamar out of the park last year.
Part of me does wonder what would happen if Lamar had those weapons. But then again,
I don't know. I mean, like with Lamar, like with how the Ravens are set up, like I mean, he won MVP with some pretty below average weapons because they have the running backs and the offensive line to give him that rushing, and they run the hell out of the ball. And I don't like the argument of like Lamar never has help because he's got a helpful coach, a helpful run game. And last year I remember getting irritated because I would see one Ravens fan comment, Lamar has no help. And then the next Raven would comment, Mark Andrews is the best tight end in the league.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damn help right there. I mean, Don't forget about Mark Andrews. I'm not saying he has like top tier help or anything, but don't act like he has nothing.
I feel like another thing with Lamar is like people try to discredit him because of his stats, but like in that offense, you're not going to throw for 4,000 yards.
That's also true.
Like Joe Flacco I don't think Joe Flacco ever threw for 4,000 yards in that offense. And like he was like a pocket quarterback, but in that offense, you're not going to throw for 4,000. You might not throw 30 touchdowns, like you said with Joe Burrow. So like, I feel like a lot of people try to discredit him with that too. Lamar just gets overhated for no reason though.
I agree, he does.
No, I agree too.
I just think like I look at those two guys and just like other guys on the list. Like I have Burrow at I think like 6 or 7. Like I look at Joe Burrow compared to these other guys, and I say I need a quarterback to go win me a game. I'm gonna pick him over everybody but the 6 guys I have ahead of him. And ultimately, I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, all these like characteristics and situations and things like that. But like, I know again, wins aren't a quarterback stat, but it rests on them more than it rests on anybody else. And if your quarterback can't win you big games, I don't want
Joe Burrow is just a winner though. Like,
yeah,
if I went all straight that, I'll put him top 2.
Yeah, I agree. He does. I mean, like leadership and like playing under pressure. Like I think it's part of what you got to look at. That's why he's so high for me. Like you look at raw skills, like he doesn't have like more skills than probably Stafford, I don't think. But at the end of the day, like skills only take you so far.
No, 100%.
Stafford's cold-blooded, so like I respect Stafford a lot.
But like 100%, that's why I have Josh Allen at 6. Like it's not that he's not more talented than the 5 guys I have in front of him. It's just like I don't know. He's young. He's still got a lot to prove, and he's got to put on his big boy pants and go to work this year.
Yeah, he will though.
He will. I think Burrow's still overrated. I have him at 8. I think 7 is 7. I mean, I have Stafford and Wilson right above him. Don't really mind a change there, but there's so many people that have him above Herbert, which I think is absolute BS.
Yeah, I can do that.
Not to harp on what Elijah just said, but I hate that he's just a winner. He's got a great mentality, but usually the phrase "he's just a winner" is when people like. I'm not saying Elijah used it this way, but people say he's just a winner when they run out of arguments to use and just be like. Well, I mean, Elijah said it himself. Great was the best receiving core in the league, a top 6 at running back at the worst. That defense played a huge part in their success in the playoffs, which nobody really talks about. It's not like he went to the Super Bowl. He just won them all these games. He did this by himself. He had a lot of help. And they have a lot of luck too. And you need luck to go to the Super Bowl. There's nothing wrong with that. But he is getting overrated. I believe in the Bengals this year, but I think he will fall a couple spots down, at least out of these delusional people that saying he's better than Herbert or Brady or Allen. Like, that's just not right.
Yeah, I can't get behind that. But like that not wasteland. Like that like 6, 7, 8, 9 area. I think you could make an argument for him to be up above everybody else for sure.
Exactly.
It's close, but good.
Exactly.
All right, so working back up 5 through 1, I have Justin Herbert at 5, Tom Brady at 4, Josh Allen at 3, Aaron Rodgers at 2, and Patrick Mahomes at 1.
I have Justin Herbert at 5, Brady at 4, Rodgers at 3, Allen at 2, Mahomes at 1.
I've got Burrow at 5, Stafford at 4, Mahomes at 3, Rodgers at 2, and then Brady at 1.
Mahomes at 3.
Oh,
no.
Wait, who is 2 and 1?
Rodgers and Brady.
Oh, you Brady at 1. Okay, I can get behind it. I'm not gonna lie.
I just can't take anyone over Rodgers right now.
Wait, who's 2? Brady?
Rodgers.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm like the biggest Stafford fan ever. Why is Stafford at 4?
Dude, I'm the biggest. Like, I love Stafford.
A huge Stafford fan.
I don't know. I just everything about him is what I want in a quarterback. He's got all the arm talent in the world. He's a good decision maker. He wins in big time moments, big time games. Finally got a roster put around him this year. I mean, I don't know. I just love Stafford at 4. I think that's a fair place for him right now.
Why over Allen?
Like I was kind of saying earlier, there's like, it's not like Stafford's more talented than Josh Allen right now. It's just Stafford's proven and that he can get it done.
All right, well, what are yours?
I have 5 Brady, 4 Herbert, 3 Allen, 2 Rodgers, 1 Mahomes.
Dude, I can't get behind Mahomes not being 1.
Yeah, I don't mind them maybe like having. I don't agree with Rodgers over him, but that's not absurd. I think anything else is.
Like, I was having this conversation with you, Passy and Elijah. You guys know Jason. Jason's a little bit delusional, but like I had this conversation with him. I had to explain to him. 1, Patrick Mahomes probably the most talented player to ever touch football. I think. I think there's a good.
I wouldn't argue against that.
But the dude has been in his 4 years of starting has made 4. The worst he's done is lost in the AFC Championship in overtime. Like, I'm pretty sure I know the Patriots AFC Championship is overtime. The Bengals won last year was overtime, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's taken overtime to beat him in the AFC Championship. And again, I know wins, quarterback stat, whatever. But like, you combine that winning ability with that type of talent. Like, I don't like. He's in a tier of his own, I think.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Tom Brady is suited up in a football uniform and is throwing the football, he's going to be at 1 for me. I don't know. He's the GOAT, greatest of all time. And then Mahomes and Rodgers. I don't know. I can't argue against any of that. At the end, like Mahomes is just unbelievable, and he's going to be probably the greatest of all time someday. Like he's that good, and like you said, maybe the greatest to ever touch a football. I don't know. Like I said, 2 through 7, pretty interchangeable. But Mahomes and Rodgers, that's, I mean, 1A, 1B, 1C for me for Brady, Rodgers, and Mahomes.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen because I remember when the Bucs beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, everyone was freaking out, saying Brady was better. Probably a little bit during the beginning half of the season when Tyreek Hill was causing interceptions and Mahomes was catching backlash.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've seen anyone put Brady over Mahomes in since then, I mean, like I said, when you're making quarterback rankings, you have your own criteria. I don't know whether it's you're saying who would I take to go to a Super Bowl, or you're saying like who's a better player, or maybe you're doing both. I mean, I'm not saying who would I take to go to the Super Bowl, because that's kind of a different question. Rodgers would probably not be at 2. But
Yeah.
I think if I am doing who would I take to go to a Super Bowl, I'm still taking Mahomes over Brady. He's the only one I'm taking over Brady. He's the only one. But
yeah.
I mean,
see, the thing that caught me was Burrow over Allen.
Yeah, I don't like that one either. I don't
Like
think
I
Burrow,
said, prove it. See, like this list, I think, is going to change so much this season. Like, Josh Allen could literally be at 1 next year. Like, it's like, what is it, year 3 for him? Year 4?
Well, it may even be 5.
4. No, 5. Yeah,
4.
5.
Year 5 as a starter.
5.
Yeah, it is 5.
So a big year for him. I don't know. Interchangeable. This is so hard to rank.
He's won MVP.
I think he will win MVP, because it's like that. One of the big criteria for MVP is how well your team is doing. And the Bills are going to win a lot of games. And he's going to be really good. And he's exciting. He's a polarizing player. So I think that's a good point. I don't know.
I think completion percentage and accuracy's got to be the only thing Burrow does better than Allen. Maybe IQ, if you want to throw IQ in there, but
I think Joe Burrow's escapability is number 1 in the league.
yeah, I mean that's definitely very, like, people don't realize how good he is at escaping, but I mean it's not like Josh Allen is Tom Brady back there in mobility. Josh Allen has a case to be a better rusher than Kyler Murray, in my opinion.
I think
With the way he trucks people.
I think he has a case to be the best rusher in the NFL or for quarterbacks. But
Such an underrated runner. I agree.
I seen this stat on Twitter. Is him and Javonte Williams had like the most forced tackle percentage. I mean, forced missed tackle percentage or something like that.
Yeah, that doesn't
I
surprise
see
me.
that. Interesting.
I don't know. Anything for Josh Allen lower than 3 is crazy.
I agree. I think that your top 3 has to be Mahomes, Rodgers, and Allen.
Yeah, I think so too. In some order, but like I said, I think Mahomes is just in a tier of his own.
Yeah, he's solidified number 1.
I just can't look at like these quarterbacks and you throw out Mahomes, Rodgers, Allen, Herbert, Brady, Burrow, Stafford, Wilson. I can't like look at all of those elite quarterbacks and be like, Tom Brady is the best one there. I mean,
I think it depends on what you value, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting into any GOAT debate. I mean, he's the GOAT and all that, and I'm not talking. I just think like he's had that defense. He's had those weapons. I mean, I'm talking Tampa Bay era at least. Like, I think the people that were putting Brady over Mahomes are because they're like, oh, he beat him. Well, he had the best offensive line in the league. He had the best receiving core in the league. He had the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
Mahomes was sitting there with 5 idiots on offensive line. Like Tyreek Hill's out there causing interceptions. Like, not that I'm talking about in that game, but
just in general, yeah, I got you.
And Mahomes has never had an elite defense. Elite.
That's
And a
true.
right defense. So
I think Tom Brady gets a lot more credit than he should, because like
I agree.
when like you think on like the years, I feel like Tom Brady, like, I mean, there's been some years Tom Brady's been the best quarterback in the league, but most of his career he hasn't been the best quarterback in the league.
He's just always
That's a
had
good
what
point.
he needed.
Yeah.
And then it's just like it just depends on how you think the GOAT is, because I mean, like, there is like you could make an argument for whoever is the GOAT. It just depends on what your criteria is. But I just feel like there's been like majority of his career he hasn't been the best quarterback in the league.
He's just had either a top 10 defense and or Bill Belichick or offensive line. He always has just like that's why when people call him like the luckiest quarterback in NFL history, I don't have a problem with it because he kind of is. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. Because I mean, I can't sit here. I'm not trying to get into go to bed. I can't sit here and argue for anyone else based off of what's happened for him. It's the same thing where I say like, you got to be lucky to win a Super Bowl. You got to have stuff go your way, no matter what it is. Brady's just had that his whole career. I'm not going to take it away from him, but he's never been the best quarterback. No way I'm taking him over Patrick Mahomes right now.
No, at least not right now. Yeah. I can't do it.
Nobody over Mahomes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we all want to read off our list one more time?
Yeah, I can go first. I'll go 1 through 15. I'll go down.
Yeah.
So 1 Mahomes, 2 Rodgers, 3 Allen, 4 Brady, 6 Russ, 7 Burrow, 8 Stafford, 9 Lamar, 10 Dak, 11 Kyler, 12 Carr, 13 Kirk Cousins, 14 Tannehill, 15 Mac Jones.
I have 1 Mahomes, 2 Allen, 3 Rodgers, 4 Brady, 5 Herbert, 6 Lamar, 7 Russ, 8 Stafford, 9 Dak, 10 Burrow, 11 Murray, 12 Carr, 13 Cousins, 14 Jameis, 15 Hurts.
I got Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, Stafford, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, Lamar, Russ, Dak, Kyler, Carr, Captain Kirk, Tannehill, and Hurts.
I got 1 Mahomes, 2 Rodgers, 3 Allen, 4 Herbert, 5 Brady, 6 Russ, 7 Stafford, 8 Burrow, 9 Kyler, 10 Lamar, 11 Dak, 12 Carr, 13 Kirk, 14 Matty Ice, 15 Mac Jones. All right, so we're going to copy the trend that has been going around, the Would You Rather quarterback edition. We got 6 guys to go through here. We're going to talk about Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Tua Tagovailoa, Ryan Tannehill, and Kirk Cousins. Shout out the Pick a Side podcast for the idea. They started all this trend, so give them their respect. We're going to do Carson Wentz first. I got about almost 8 to 10 guys here to compare him to since Carson Wentz is so widely ranked all over the place. We're just going to go around and say who we'd rather have and then go through and see what we got. So we'll start off with Carson Wentz. And the first guy I'm going to say is Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
God, this guy's going to be so bad. I had to start off with that because, my God.
I saw the look in your eye.
I heard this from. I forget where I heard it from, but I was listening to some podcast the other day, and they said it wasn't an upgrade. I was like, I turned it off so quick. So Matt Ryan clears. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk. I have Kirk.
I got Kirk as well.
Mac Jones.
Mac.
Mac.
A little hesitation there.
A little bit.
I'll go Mac as well.
Jalen Hurts.
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
I hate agreeing with them all the time, but Hurts as well.
Jared Goff.
Goff. Oh, yeah, Goff. All day. I'm a Goff guy, but Goff.
Jared Goff, baby.
To the promised land. Goff.
I have Goff and Wentz at both. I mean, that was when I went back and forth on. I think Goff is probably a safer option. Wentz is more talented. Goff is safer, so I would probably go with Goff, but they're ranked right next to each other for me. Jameis Winston.
Winston for sure.
Jameis.
Daniel Jones.
Oh, I knew you were gonna ask this. We talking right now or down the line?
Who? who would you rather have, right? Who would you rather have? I don't know. That's what are we doing?
I'll say Daniel Jones. I'd rather have Daniel
Wentz.
Jones.
I'd rather have Wentz too.
I would rather have Wentz.
Because Wentz didn't have
It's-
if you look at his stats, he didn't have a bad year last year.
Not at all.
He did not he
No.
didn't turn the ball over much. Like, I don't know. I hate shitting on Wentz for no reason, but I don't know.
The thing about
What's
Wentz,
the-
I spent. I mean, I don't know if you two followed me last year. I know Max did. I spent all of last year defending the absolute
Yeah.
hell out of Wentz because, I mean, and still to this day, I defend. I think he's fallen down my own rankings too because he collapsed at the end. We start to see more turnovers, more choking. So he fell from like 15 or 16 to 20, 21 for me. But the rest of the community, so many times I've seen these top 32 quarterbacks and Wentz is down there at 29, 30, which is bullshit to me. It's just because they lose to the Jaguars and everyone, and the reason I didn't defend him in really the last 2 weeks. I mean, I did say it wasn't completely his fault that they choked, but he played a big part. But I would defend him all year because he would he'd go out and have 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, and then he'd throw this left-handed interception, and all he would get is how horrible he was. Oh, he's a joke. He's throwing left-handed, like he's trash. Off of one play that we still won the game, or like we lost. I don't know, but people, I mean, it's a classic. The media would just pick the bad part, and that's all that people would see.
Yeah.
And no one likes to talk about a 27-7 touchdown interception ratio. He had a good year last year.
Yeah, I didn't know the exact stats, but that's a good year. And then with Jonathan Taylor playing the way he was last year, and then obviously the loss to the Jaguars at the end of the year to get into the playoffs, I feel like it just left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. Oh, he sucks. This guy's
it did.
anything.
Same thing with
I
Tannehill.
think there was a stretch where he didn't have a turnover until the Jacksonville game.
Yeah, it was I want to say 6, 7 games around there, maybe even 8. I don't remember, but he didn't throw an interception in so long. And then he throws that interception, and everyone's like, "Wow, he's trash."
Yeah.
That's the reaction he gets. I feel bad for him.
I'm gonna take back my answer. I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I live by that. I will say though, I think Daniel Jones is a higher ceiling than Carson Wentz does.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, Okay. Tua.
Oh, Tua for sure. I'm going Tua.
Wentz.
I've got to go Wentz as well.
I got Wentz. I mean, I don't know what it's another thing where Tua's young and who knows, but he hasn't shown me anything to move him above Wentz to me.
Mm-hmm.
True. That's fair.
All right, Davis Mills.
Wentz. I like Mills, but Wentz.
Wentz. I think Mills is gonna be good though.
Yeah.
You think he's going to be a starter for a couple years? You think
Yeah.
I think he can be.
You think in 3 years David Mills is the starting quarterback for the Texans?
It seems
It just
it seems
depends.
fluky. It seems fluky to me. I don't know why. It just does.
I think it just depends on how they do because CJ Stroud and Bryce Young and then whoever's after that. I think it just depends on where they fall at.
Yeah.
And how he performs.
Yeah, that's true. He could be on the hot seat this year. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I just never heard people say they like Mills, but Wentz. I got Wentz.
Zach Wilson.
Wentz.
Wentz.
And kind of like Max, Wilson, he could very well within the first 6 weeks. I could change my answer, but as of right now,
Definitely.
Wentz.
Definitely.
Yeah, no reason to have. That's why it's irritating me when people have Fields, Tua, Wilson, Lance. I've seen all those guys. It's what have they done to show you that they're a better quarterback than Wentz? I don't get it. But one more, and it's Trevor Lawrence.
I have Lawrence out of Wentz. I'm a Lawrence truther.
Wentz.
D-Law.
I think-
I'm a Lawrence truther as well.
Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback, but I would rather right now have the safer options with Carson Wentz.
This is one I kind of struggled with making my rankings. I got Lawrence at 19 and Wentz at 20. Um, this, I'm not like he's not. It's different than Wilson, Tua, and Fields to me because he has shown more than them in my opinion. He's shown. I mean, don't forget he was the best prospect since Andrew Luck. That's still there.
Yeah.
He had probably the worst coach in the last since I can remember. I mean, Bill O'Brien's up there, but Urban Meyer would have joke.
Yeah.
You gotta think that has something to do with it. And
Yeah.
I believe, and he had shit weapons, but I believe Peterson is gonna be a little successful with him. Sadly, as a Colts fan, but I mean, I think Wentz was better last year, but I think I would take Lawrence.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go into the next guy, which is Jalen Hurts. We already did Wentz. Let's go Trevor Lawrence or Jalen Hurts.
I have Hurts.
Hurts.
Tough.
I gotta go Hurts. His legs, just right now, his legs, that puts him over Lawrence right now.
Jameis Winston.
Like I was just looking at my rankings. I'm gonna go Winston, but it's close.
Mm. I'm gonna go Winston. It's close. It's really close.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hurts. I have him above in my QB rankings, and I'll stick with Hurts.
It's tough. It's tough doing this in the off season because it's also it's like this could be different next year. Like I kind of expect to say Hurts at some point here next season. I have Winston a spot ahead of Hurts, but like I don't know. I wish our sample size last year of Winston wasn't so small.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go Ryan Tannehill.
I have Tannehill.
Hurts.
I have Tannehill as well.
I'm not alone.
I have Hurts one spot ahead of Tannehill. I guess we'll see if AJ Brown has anything to do with making Tannehill better, making Hurts better. I don't know. Well, the traded receivers, we'll see, I guess. But
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a close one too. Zach Wilson,
Hurts.
Hurts.
Mac Jones.
I have Mac Jones.
Hurts.
I have Mac. Let's see. We already did Wentz. No one's gonna say Tua, right?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
Okay. Baker Mayfield.
I want to say Baker so bad, but I can't. I have Hurts.
Hurts.
That'll be a fun one though if we talk about it.
Yeah, I gotta go Hurts too. As much as I ride with 6.
All right. Well, let's go into Baker's then, because I got about 10, 12 names for Baker because he's all over the place.
Let's do it.
I did not mention Baker when we were talking about Wentz. So Baker Mayfield or Carson Wentz?
Baker.
Baker as well.
This is tough for me. It's different, but like when we were talking before Wentz got traded as a Colts fan and we were talking about trading Carson Wentz and then picking up Baker Mayfield, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want that to happen. So I'm not going to say that. I'm saying Wentz. I would rather have Wentz. I mean, they've both had good years and shit years.
Yeah.
I would rather have Wentz, but.
And I don't argue against you either. Like that's
a close one.
Tua.
Baker.
Baker.
Only reason I'm going Baker is because Tua hasn't shown enough to me yet, but I don't know though. I'm going through my rankings because I've had my top 32 quarterback rankings. I said this before we did the podcast. Taking Darnold out and trying to find a spot for Baker. I don't know where to. I mean, there's people think he's top 20. People don't think he's top 25, and I'm not a Baker guy. Let's go Daniel Jones.
Baker.
Baker.
I remember saying I would rather have Daniel Jones last year.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I think Daniel Jones' ceiling is very high. But like, the dude hasn't done anything to make
The only thing for me, you can blame injuries, whatever. The only reason I can't hear the stupid he was just hurt, which yeah, he was hurt, but he also had a shit year 2 years before that, which people don't want to talk about. So I mean, there were a lot of people in my comments that said Jones over Baker, but I remember when I said it, and then everyone was so mad at me. But the only thing I was like, if you put Baker Mayfield with the Giants' offensive line, an injured Saquon Barkley, Joe freaking Judge, receivers that aren't being used right, and you put Daniel Jones with Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, a good offensive line, I have a feeling that Daniel Jones has a better year than Baker Mayfield would have had, and I have a feeling Baker Mayfield would have ended up being benched in New York. So I'm going Daniel Jones.
I like it. I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, great points, all of them.
Baker Mayfield or Trevor Lawrence?
Baker.
This is close.
I'm taking
But
Lawrence.
I'm taking T-Law as well.
Tannehill.
Baker.
Tannehill.
Matt Ryan. No way you're thinking about that, dude. No way.
Baker.
Oh, God. No. I was so happy when we traded for Matt Ryan because all I was hearing is that we were getting Baker, and I was pissed. We got Matt Ryan. I'm like, hell yeah. Oh, my gosh. No. I mean, Baker may have a more talented arm. That's about it.
I don't know. I had to watch all them games last year, but like Baker's high is, I don't know. It just
Baker just has way lower floor than that Ryan. I mean,
Yeah, you know what you're going to get from Matt Ryan week in, week out. Baker could be 60 yards, 4 picks. Like, you know.
I mean, I just remember watching that Packers game last year against the Browns, and Baker, there was like 4 picks. I'm like, I was like posting TikToks like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. And then he threw the 4th one. Like, I'm still posting. He's still throwing interceptions. Like, he sold that game. I know that's just a 1-game sample. I'm just saying Matt Ryan's not going to do that. Matt Ryan has a way better IQ. He's way more accurate. Baker may have a better arm, but Baker will lose you way more games than Matt Ryan will lose you.
Yeah. I don't know if this is real or not, but like speaking of that like Green Bay game, I saw like on Twitter that like apparently there was some guy who was playing Halo with like all week, like 10 plus hours a day or something. And he just wasn't watching the film while he was at home or getting ready for the game. That's wild to me.
I can not see any reason to pick Baker there. Let's see, Baker. Mac Jones.
Mac.
I got to go Baker. I'm not really a believer in Mac Jones yet.
How about Mac? Zach Wilson.
Baker.
I will go Baker just because my logic says Wilson hasn't proven it yet. So Justin Fields.
Baker.
Fields.
Mm.
I got Baker.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that Fields one. I think Fields will be better than Baker was.
I think he will too, but like
It's hard like right now.
Yeah.
You got to think how bad that guy's situation is, though.
Yeah, I just think the Bears are going to be so bad, dude. I feel bad for Fields, truly.
I
I
hope
just
the
like-
Bears will win a game.
I'm with you. I don't think they'll win more than 3.
I hate to put the Daniel Jones curse on somebody, but like reminds me a
No.
lot of Daniel Jones situation.
Yep.
We'll see.
Last
Bears are
one.
much worse.
Yeah, that Bears are bad.
I mean, they don't have any like.
Hey, they got
Well,
the Kill Harry, man.
Mm.
like we'll talk about the Bears obviously whenever we do the NFC North, but damn, like, oh, I feel bad.
All right, I got one more, and it is Trey Lance.
Oh, Baker.
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 Making sure we didn't have any like journalist Lance guys. There's no reason for me to take Lance when I haven't seen him. So
Yeah.
let's go to the next one, which is Tua.
I like this.
Tua. Okay. Let's start off with Davis Mills.
Tua.
Tua.
Yeah, I said earlier that Mills is fluky to me. I mean, Mills, I still like it was really impressive what he did last year. And like I don't know why I have Mills ranked a spot above Tua, and I don't think Mills will be this franchise guy. I think it's fluky. I don't really see him ever cracking like the top 15 or anything. But he was a better quarterback than Tua to me last year, and he had way less to work with. So I'm gonna go with Mills. Tua or Zach Wilson.
Tua, for sure.
Wilson.
Ooh.
I'll stick with Tua.
I'll go Tua by a little bit. I think we did this already, but Baker, we did that.
I have Baker with Tua. It's close
Baker.
Yep. Baker.
Jared Goff.
I have Tua one spot ahead of Goff, but it's close.
Goff.
Right now, Goff.
I got Goff now. Fields.
Close. Tua.
Fields.
Tua.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis for sure.
Winston.
Jameis.
Wentz.
I'm going Tua.
Wentz.
I forget if we already did this. I'll go Wentz.
Jacoby Brissett.
Tua. Come on.
I want to make sure.
Tua.
I can't do it.
Tua.
Yeah. I don't think there's anyone else. I think everyone else that I would say would be kind of obvious.
All right.
Yeah, we've said. Okay. I thought that would be. Oh, did we? Yeah, we did Daniel Jones, didn't we? No, we didn't. Daniel Jones or Tua.
Tua. I hate to do it, but Tua.
Tua.
I hate to do it too, but Tua.
Got Tua 2 spots above him. Let's go into Ryan Tannehill because we have pretty different rankings with Tannehill.
Oh yeah.
We'll start off with Mac Jones.
Tannehill.
Mac Jones.
Tannehill.
You're not Mac. Jameis.
Tannehill.
Jameis.
Tannehill.
Jameis. That was close though. I could see that going either way.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence.
Tannehill for sure.
Tannehill.
Yeah, right now Tannehill.
Tannehill spot ahead of him. Matt Ryan.
Oh, so tough, but Tannehill.
Matt Ryan.
So close. I'll stick with Tannehill. Just because I have him above him. Like
D Matty ice all the way there. I just think Tannehill is just more of a weakness. Yeah, Kirk.
I do think he'll get exposed at times this year for sure.
I would go with Kirk over Tannehill.
Kirk Cousins.
Captain Kirk.
Jared Goff.
Tannehill.
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 Wentz.
Tannehill.
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 Baker.
Tannehill.
Baker.
Tannehill.
I would way rather have Tannehill, I think. Is there anyone else? I think that's all I was thinking of there.
Yeah, I just think he's like a little above that like fourth or fifth tier, whatever it is. Like Tannehill's just a little above that whole group of like Hurts, Mac Jones, Wentz, Matt Ryan.
Yeah. I also think like I talked about it earlier on. We're just ranking the guys. Like people forget about that little blip last year of like 6 or 7 games where Derrick Henry, it seemed like he was going to be shut down, at least for the rest of the regular season. A.J. Brown in and out of the lineup. And then the Titans won like 7 games. Not in a row, but they won like 7 of their last 8 or something like that. And Tannehill was literally like a dark horse MVP candidate. Like I saw multiple videos, tweets saying that type of stuff.
They got the 1 seed, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's just the sour taste thing.
I credit Mike Vrabel so much more for that, though.
Oh yeah, I think Mike Vrabel. Did he win Coach of the Year?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say he deserved to win Coach of the Year.
We did this, but for the sake of the TikTok clip, Jalen Hurts or Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill.
Hurts.
I've got Tannehill.
I got Hurts by a spot. All right, let's go to the last guy. We got Kirk Cousins. I hate Kirk Cousins. Everyone hates Kirk Cousins. But
Mr. Average.
this, I think, for the sake of TikTok comments, it's going to be controversial, but I think we all kind of we had them at the same, like almost the same spot. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to go kind of rapid fire.
Okay.
Ryan Tannehill.
Kirk.
Kirk.
Mac Jones.
Kirk.
Kirk. I think that's an easy one.
Jameis Winston.
Kirk.
Kirk.
Matt Ryan.
Kirk.
Kirk.
I have Kirk, but I'm trying to fight off the Colts bias there. But yeah, that's Kirk. Dak Prescott.
Dak.
Dak, 100%.
Derek Carr.
Carr.
I've got Carr as well.
Carr with ease. I think. Actually, before I say that, Kyler.
Kyler.
Kyler for sure.
Kyler. So Kirk is always grouped into this tier with Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, and Derek Carr. And they're like, oh, rank these 4. And I always say, like, if you don't have Kirk last year, you're just wrong. But there's always those people saying, oh, Kirk is better than 1 or 2 of these. Kirk is better than Kyler. Kirk is better than Carr. A lot of people think Kirk's better than Carr. I can't get behind that. I think all 3 of those guys. We talk about, like we said this earlier. I think instead of putting Kirk in that tier, I'd put those 3 guys in one tier, Kirk in the next tier, and then people like Tannehill and Ryan in the next tier. Kirk, he's a tier behind those guys. Maybe he's a tier above Tannehill and Ryan, but he's not in the same tier as Dak, Kyler, and Carr to me. And then Jalen Hurts.
Kirk.
Kirk.
Yeah, that's all I had there for Kirk. I just wanted to get that out there.
No, it's a good discussion point. Like I do think like Carr and Kyler and Dak all bring so much more to the table, but like we kind of talked about it earlier, you know what you're gonna get with Kirk Cousins every single week. Like I don't know, there was that like 4 week stretch a year or two ago where he was throwing like 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, but I mean, other than that, it's all reliable.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up here. I think we got a good amount of quarterback talk. Kind of wanted to see what people thought ranking wise for the second half, but we did a lot of comparing there for Would You Rather. Next episode, hopefully Zach will be on. Hopefully we'll have all 5 of us. I'm thinking we're gonna go through AFC South and NFC South. I was waiting on NFC South to see if they got Baker in there, and he's in there. So I'm ready to do that division, and I'm eager to talk about my Colts. So I definitely want to get to that next. We'll have our Twitter and our TikTok link down below. We are on Spotify now. We weren't on Spotify for the first couple of days. We dropped on YouTube, but I will be cutting up these clips once again. Timestamps will be down below. I should have said this in the intro, not the outro, but if you want to see one part, go click to it. So stay tuned for the AFC South, the NFC South. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you later.